I mean, the game will be fully recorded, so if your OBS doesn't work, you can always check out my YouTube channel. Yes. Yes, please leave comment, like, subscribe. To be fair, Heather is like, no, Heather is my longest subscriber. So there's that.
What did happen last game? It feels like that's right. That's right. Well, I guess the first thing that happened last game was that Jocelyn went off to hang out with Cassandra. And we didn't know who that was, so Macklin explained it to us. We assumed that he explained it correctly. No one else objected, so we assumed that that's correct. We weren't listening too hard because he said that she runs a bunch of administrative quote unquote things in town, and we didn't think administrative things sounded very interesting. But it sounded like Jocelyn was happy to spend some time with her, so that's nice. The manor after Whitestone had been fairly quiet for Whitestone. Sorry, the pitbull just launched herself over the end of the couch, which is remarkably ambitious for a pitbull at 7:40 at night. So Whitestone was quiet, but the manor was not quiet. People seemed to be arriving at the manor, going upstairs to Ilya's office, leaving the manor to run various errands. We shared some muffins with the dogs. And there was some discussion of whether to bring muffins when we go to Marquette, which we are convinced that we are doing in the short term. So what beverages to bring to Marquette. Alina was flying around on Edgar still, looking for our buddy. We eventually all headed upstairs to Ilya's office to knock on the door and say hi. Ilya looked tired. She looked like she'd been ill or injured recently. We brightened her day. Well, Kiora specifically brightened her day by telling her that Sonder was dead. The soul battery was destroyed. We expect Ekna to retaliate at any moment. There was, I don't know why my notes say Kiora talks in secret code about needing to decide how to destroy something and align it with destroying a man, needing to decide how to destroy something and align it with destroying Vecna. Then it has a semicolon, says Tab is mystified. Hannah is also mystified and does not remember if Kiora is actually talking in secret code or if Tab just felt like she was. But I believe that was
definitely the latter.
Okay, I believe that was Kiora talking about when and how, needing to figure out when and how to destroy the reliquary at a time that would be aligned with destroying Vecna. Excellent. At least one of us understood. The player is the 12th member of the Popcorn Peanut Gallery. Then we talked about that ritual of planar binding that V and Tab had found in a book many months ago. That book told us about the existence of this ritual. The ritual itself appears to be in some other book, which is in the hands of the Cobalt Soul. Sounds like Rexentrim's archive would be the best place to go. There was some talk of whether it would be advantageous for us to attempt to stir up unrest in Dharamthala to distract Vecna and cause some trouble at his gates, approximately. We talked about whether to go see Seeker Assume. There was clarification that he had been watching Kyor's daughter, one of them, another one, yet another one, but that there was an attack. The attack was repelled. The daughter was relocated. Asum is still present at the Oasis healing. We don't know where the daughter, where this Vex has been moved to. That's probably just as well. Ilya mentioned that way back when, Asum had sent an agent to Tharamfala. Macklin ratted us out as that agent. We were not mad about it. We were glad that somebody else said it so that we didn't have to. We talked about how to get to Rexentrim, possibly by Odrin, possibly by Jazan. We have various options. We talked about whether to go to Rexentrim first or to Marquette first. We talked about whether to go to Marquette and talk to Asum, or whether to bring him back to Whitestone to work with Talia on the insurrection plan. We talked about how to destroy the reliquary and how it would be convenient to research that if we were at a very large library anyway. We talked about when to go anywhere, any of these places that we might go. Kyor would like a day or two in town to settle some affairs. Tab, and I think also Macklin thought maybe we should go get our information first, and then we can work on the information while Kyor settles her affairs. I don't know if there was a firm decision on that. I'm leaving space for someone else to remember if there was a firm decision, but I will continue babbling.
I think it was decided that they would leave in the morning.
Okay. That sounds vaguely familiar. Macklin wanted to send a message to his sister. I don't know if that happened. And Ilya sent him to Hunan, gave him a big old box to also take to Hunan. Turned out the box contained chocolate, which may or may not be a bride price. If so, the poet has made it very clear that Ilya does still have to petition Hunan for Kyor's hand, even if she did pay him off with chocolate. But Macklin doesn't know. But he does know what his sister looks like, and gave that information to Hunan along with a message to send. I don't believe the sending actually happened in game. Question mark.
It did.
Oh, I just didn't write it down then.
We cut it right before the response came in.
Okay. And then Kyor wanted to take a bath and go to church, and asked us if she could talk to the Raven Queen about us. We said yes, and weren't sure if we wanted to know what the Raven Queen said back. V went to the magic shop in the arcane bookstore in the library, because of course he does. What does one do when going to a library, when one is about to go to a library, except go to some other libraries? And Alina delivered our friend to us via Edgar. And we took him back to the boarding house and talked to Xeroff. That's all I got.
That's a pretty thorough rundown of what happened in game. I know Kyor ran some errands outside of game, visiting the temple and taking care of some things back at the mansion, but don't think she would have run into anyone unless anyone was deliberately looking for her.
I feel like I'm leaving out Macklin things, but I don't know if that's actually true or if I just feel like I am.
Macklin specific things?
Oh, and I now saw your message. So yeah, were there other Macklin things other than the box of chocolate and the sending, and then lots of conversation that I glossed over about the planning stuff? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Okay.
We did a bunch of planning, went and talked to a cleric about a message, and we're good to go.
Cool.
Okay. So, as Macklin gets a response back to his message.
All right. Well, that's life affirming.
Hunan will try to deliver it with the same tone as intended.
All right. So, yeah, Macklin he'll take that information and thank Hunan and prepare to rest for the evening. probably head back to the manor.
Okay.
Assuming there's room. There's a lot of people in there right now.
Most of the bedrooms are. There's only 2 bedrooms that seem to be occupied.
Oh,
you
well,
should head
all
back
right
to
then.
the manor. Are you peeking into any of the bedrooms? I'm assuming you're probably not peeking into the master bedroom.
No, I'm just there's a room that I was using. I'm just gonna make sure no one has taken that for now.
Was that number 2?
I don't remember. I do not remember.
Put you in number 2 now.
I think it was next to Talia. Or across from Talia. I remember she needed me to tell her which dress was black and which one wasn't. Which one was gray and which one wasn't.
This room up here.
Okay,
The
so I
anchors
was.
of- Okay. You heading to bed early?
I assume it's close to bedding time.
It's like 8 o'clock. You
Yeah, sure.
can.
Yeah, I've got no other business in town, so I'll just sleep, prepare for the morning.
Okay. Tap.
If it is still the previous evening, then we are probably at the boarding house talking Corin's ear off. Oh, and we did do a little hand waving, not a full-on dock play, but a little hand waving over the weekend. So we specifically sort of caught up on what we've been doing for the last little while, what Corin's been doing for the last little while, and we pitched dragging him off to Marquette to help us with our planning, because we are apparently putting all of our all of our historical resources who are good at making plans at the party's disposal is our intent. So that's probably about what's happening. What's happening about now is we are trying to sell him on tagging along. And occasionally remembering to eat a bite of food, because that's polite. And it's pretty tasty.
Okay. In that case, V, what are you up to?
At this point, I'll probably have wandered back to the mansion and ensconced myself with whatever my new book purchases are in the library there. If it's
Okay.
unoccupied, with my cat on my shoulder, you know.
Roll me a D100.
$13.
Okay, 13. You find a planar guide.
Ooh. This is why V goes on these random book shopping missions.
It's very general overview of the various planes, and it doesn't seem very trustworthy given what you know about these places that you've already been.
Huh.
It doesn't say anything outright ridiculous, but it does seem to get some things wrong.
V may have just decided is the perfect book to use for a cipher.
Oh, this is V's version of the extremely thick romance novel. That makes so much sense.
That does make a lot of sense. Alrighty. Which room are you putting yourself in?
Ah, that's right. There we go. Library.
Okay. Johnson,
That's me.
that is you. You have a good visit with Cassandra, catching up, playing with baby Joanna.
Hey, where are they?
They're in the city.
Okay.
They have a large house in the upper northeast quarter.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, pretty much all Jocelyn would talk about is life, how she's doing, how the baby's doing. I don't know how much detail he would go into about, everything. He was a kid once, and then he was a kid again. He'd probably say a couple times.
Mm.
And then he was old again. It'd be a confusing conversation.
I'm sure.
But after, he got to spend enough time with who he considers family. When it got closer to night, I would say, he would go find his place to rest, and then probably get with his party to see what everybody's doing in the morning.
You staying at the Manor Rex?
If that's where he has a bed, that's where he will stay. The wandering traveler. No place is really home. Or does he have many homes? That's the question that you must ask yourself.
Probably more likely that he has many homes.
Yeah, probably.
He has to pick which house he's going to stay in at the night. Okay. And Tab, you're sleeping at the boarding house?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I've moved on by this point in the evening to I have broken out the the spell book I borrowed from V about magical tattoos, and I'm working through the list about there's this one. I think you can see anything. You can anything if it's invisible, if it's an illusion, anything you could see through this with this one. And this one you could make small snakes. I don't know if they're really snakes or if they only look like they're snakes, but they look like they're snakes, and you could summon them anytime you liked. And this one here, up turning the page, that is so that if the small snakes or larger snakes that you didn't manifest through a tattoo bit you, then you would be proof against. It would be proof against the poison, and just basically running through all of the options with great enthusiasm and great speed.
Yes. And he is definitely interested in getting a tattoo.
And I'm remembering that I did find tattooists. We did find tattooist tools at a shop.
You did.
Did they have? It looks like the base kit, according to the spell book, includes ink, not the specialty inks, but like basic inks. Is that
Yes.
true of this? Okay, cool. But we don't know how to use them tonight, but maybe tomorrow.
He nods.
We go back to, and this one you would make someone go very much faster. We don't need that anymore. We have good boots, but maybe you would like to go faster, and so on and so forth.
Okay. As he peruses the tattoo options available to him. He will eventually go to bed because he is still human. And everyone can roll me a Constitution check.
Just straight up check or save?
Just check.
Oh, I don't have my dice out. I'm rolling roll 20 for this. Oops, should I have my dice out?
That seems appropriate. V?
All this excitement is exhausting.
Nat 1.
The early bird gets the
No.
worm. That's how the expression goes.
Okay. Jocelyn, you're the first one up.
As Jocelyn wakes up, he probably allowing everyone to get the rest that they need. He wouldn't go interrupt anyone. And he would head down to, I don't know if he'd go to the breakfast room. That's where he'd go. Assuming that's where the breakfast would be.
Yes, that is safe to assume.
And he would wait for his compatriots to awaken, probably do some prayers while he was alone, and
Alrighty. Yep, do some prayers. Get a cup of coffee. Breakfast is started for you all.
I'd get a cup of tea.
A cup of tea. Easy enough. Macklin, you're the next one awake.
All right. We never made a plan to meet up together, did we?
Nope.
Well,
Sure
we're all in
didn't.
the manor, except for those who aren't in the manor, so...
But do we know that?
But do we know that? That's a good question.
I do have bracelets.
We got bracelets. We can get in contact if we need to.
I was really waiting to see just how long it would be before someone remembered those.
Plus, I think we agreed to leave at around mid-evening, like 5, because that's about noon in Marquette.
I do remember that.
Yeah, so free morning. What do I want to do? Oh, we can move that brown box. I don't need that anymore. Um, so I'll take out Sky's jar and chat with Sky for an hour. Tell him about the adventure as it's going. Tell him about Marquette and what to expect when we get to Marquette.
Guy's very excited to travel.
I'll be sure to describe things in robust detail upon arriving. And I think later in the afternoon I may go to the boarding house and have a chat with Ava.
Okay.
See what's going on over there.
Well, we're still doing the mornings, so
Yeah, I mean making plans.
Okay.
So my morning hour will be spent doing that and whatever breakfast things are happening in the kitchen.
okay. And there's definitely some breakfast things happening in the kitchen. You smell bacon, sausage, a lot of fried potatoes.
Checks out.
It looks like someone's cooking for, as you kind of peek your head in, it looks like they're cooking for a very large amount of people.
Like an army, maybe?
If not an army, at least maybe the officer corps.
All right. You know what? Fuck, I got an hour to kill. How many cooks are in the kitchen?
Currently 4.
They look like they need help.
Actually, you speak Zemnian. They
Yeah.
can definitely use an extra set of hands, and as you
I
walk
can't-
in, they kind of eye you like, but as you greet them in Zemnian, they let you come in to help.
All right. Yeah, I can't cook, but I can chop real good.
Yeah, and you are definitely given a knife and a chopping board and just a pile of vegetables to go at.
Yeah. I'll just go nuts, shoot some shit in Zemnian.
It is not the usual group. It is in fact maybe a middle-aged woman, slightly older, solidly like late 40s, and her 3 daughters.
Huh. Okay, so I won't do that much shit talking then.
Yeah. So here's the thing. As you kind of go to like quiet yourself, you realize that these women are bawdy as hell.
Shit talking is back on the docket.
Oh yeah, they are shit talking. They are gossiping. They appear to have given
I'm
everyone
into it.
nicknames. You get the feeling that there might be a side business as to what else they did when they ran the Haven. Yeah, no, they are loud, they are rambunctious, and they will talk all of the shit about everyone.
I'm into it.
People mentioned by nickname are Herr Blitzen.
Herr Blitzen?
Herr Blitzen, which is like basically like Mr. Shiny.
Are they talking like about the officers that they're working with?
They're definitely talking about officers and people
Nice.
of some rank. They mentioned the Hawk. There's Dom Kra. Give me a moment. I'm looking for one more name in my notes. Ugh, sorry. Oh, there it is. And Dom Hassan.
Dom Hassan.
Yep, I put the spellings in the gen chat. Oh, and also the wizard.
The wizard. No, I wonder who that is.
Yeah, they're not very. They're not the most creative nicknames. Some of them.
Okay, those sound like some interesting folk that I might have to keep tabs on. And I assume they're just talking about their mannerisms and how each one annoys them in one way or another.
I mean, more or less.
It's work grousing.
It's work grousing. But it's very good natured. At least one of the girls has a crush on Herr Blitzen.
Well, he is Mr. Shiny, so.
And has been trying to tempt Mr. Shiny into basically just doing her damnedest to seduce Mr. Shiny, and it's not going well. So she's looking for advice on some stuff.
Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
There's a little bit of that, but more like, what's a girl got to do to get his attention type of. It's more worldly than notice me, senpai.
Is Matt going to offer any advice?
He's gonna pipe up. Are you sure he likes women? Some men are just into
If he's
swords.
Zemnian, put a sword in her hand.
That's a good one, actually.
There is some debate on whether or not he likes women. A couple of people said that, well, he has mentioned a wife that he used to have. So the oldest woman who introduces her name as Frau Coach, says that it seems like he was married to a woman at some point.
And she scared him off them for good.
Well, I mean, could be that he got scared off, or there could be some tragedy. I will make some advice to watch and wait and study. If not, investigate. And study your prey.
You get the feeling that she is listening to your advice. Oh man, this is gonna have ramifications.
Julian potatoes.
Yep. All right. Dory, you're the next person awake.
Oh shit. All right. As I wake up, does Ilya still look completely unabashedly asleep?
No, she's actually sitting up. She's actually awake. She seems to be looking over some paperwork, but she did not get out of bed.
Small miracles. Am I early or late?
Early. Or at least on
Sounds
time.
about right.
You're on time and I'm early.
I'm going to wipe the sleep out of my eyes and focus on her. And can I tell if she's gotten some good rest?
Roll a medicine check.
24.
24. Yeah. The gray pallor that had kind of set into her features is gone. The shake in her hands that she had been trying to get, not hide, but trying to not be obvious about, is gone. So it looks like she got some good rest. She does not look like she's in a particularly good mood. She's not fearful, but she is awake and does not look nearly as rough as she did the night before.
Bad news, I take it?
Just inventories and supply rosters.
Uninteresting news.
The boring parts of running a war.
Indeed. I'll sit up and stretch and kind of look around, run a hand through my hair. I may have stolen one of your assistants last night.
Oh.
Well, Yuri, you gave me permission.
All right. Are you taking him with you then?
No, I had some tasks for him to perform in town. It, occurs to me that given all the things you need to take care of and given all the things I need to take care of, it might be better to offload some things we're both interested in to a third party who's capable of seeing them to a satisfying conclusion.
That is quite the non-answer.
I grin a little bit. I'll lean over and kiss her. One way or another, we're nearing the end of things. And there's something very important that you and I need to see through, just in case.
I don't disagree. You have to get your brother on board. I have not gotten near to his list of tasks.
I snort a little bit. Honestly, do you really think he would say anything if you aren't able to complete them? Yuri did mention the tasks to me.
I think that he will never let me live it down, but I think I can live with that.
Exactly. That's an entirely different scenario. But yes, Yuri seems like a good choice to take care of these arrangements for us. So long as you don't require him in your planning for the next however long it takes.
I mean, you do realize he's a Tal'Dorei sweetheart. He'll have everything prepped for tonight if you let him.
He can certainly try, but there's at least one thing I know is going to take a few days. But that's something I can surprise you with.
I look forward to it. You are aware I cannot get married on hallowed ground, right?
I wave a hand dismissively. My brother's a priest. He can perform ceremonies wherever we please.
Fair enough. Just in case you wanted it at your temple, I wanted to warn you that. I mean, we could, but the entire place would be burned down before the ceremony was over.
I know that would please you to no end. However, I'd like to refrain from burning down any temples.
I don't actively want to burn down temples. That's mostly a rumor.
It just so happens that they happened whenever you walk into one, I see.
That's a coincidence.
I'm sure. No, I tasked Yuri with deciding on a reasonable place that can be reasonably secured, and we will simply bring the priest to us.
Fair enough.
I have no delusions of a traditional ceremony, and I don't think we are a traditional couple in any sense of the word, so one way or another it'll work out for the best.
I mean, there have been odder matches in my family.
I make a sound. Either way, given the amount of things we both have to take care of, I trust he'll be able to pull through in a satisfying way.
There's a large amount of crashing coming from the chamber outside of the bedroom.
I sent a mental probe to Edgar. Which daughter does this have to do with?
The smaller one, the middle child, as it were.
Oh no, she's a middle child now.
Yeah.
My eyes go distant for a little bit as I prompt Edgar to... Actually, can I see through his senses? I think I just can communicate with him. All right, boy, give me a report.
This room is small. Very small.
What does that have to do with the crashing? Oh, you're trying to move, aren't you? Oh, you poor Thea. Just see if you can occupy her for a little longer. I'll look over at Ilya. Our daughter is awake, and my mount believes the room is too small.
Well, it's a very small room and a very large griffin.
And a very active young girl. I'll start climbing out of bed.
Yeah, she climbs out of bed as well and heads to the door. Alina, why don't you take Edgar downstairs to the Great Hall and show him some of the paintings on the top. The very tippy top.
Pa!
And yeah, you hear a yes, mama, and the sound of at least a small child and a large dog bounding off, and then Edgar carefully trying to move.
It involves a lot of backing up, turning sideways, bumping into a wall, backing up, knocking over a vase, turning around slowly on tiptoes.
A poor vase.
Edgar shoots Kiora a reproachful look before he goes. That wasn't worth anything, was it?
She shakes her head. No.
Oh, good. To be honest, I'm not sure if I would have cared if it was, but it's nice to know that it isn't. I'll be down in a few minutes. I have some prayers to do.
Alright, I'll see you in a few.
Give her another kiss before I return back to my prayers.
She returns it, heads down. She'll probably head to her office. Alright, Tab.
We cease brooding.
Yes. You have brooded sufficiently.
For today. More brooding tonight. Then we go in search of Corin, who I feel certain we would have left him somewhere safe in the boarding house.
Yeah, he's on the top floor.
Excellent. Are you awake yet?
He kind of sits up and rubs his eyes. Yeah, awake enough.
It's time for muffins.
Alright. Am I making them, or?
No. Flavor's cake. We'll show you.
Alright.
Or bear claws.
I do like bear claws.
We consider that. And sigh happily. We are beset with people who like bear claws. But this is
I beg your pardon?
trial that we must do our best in spite of. You're not here. You don't know. And we take him off to the Slayer's Cake.
Okay.
And
Busy morning at the Slayer's Cake, and Holly and Molly are behind the counter.
we're going to Marquette. What kind of mushrooms do they like in Marquette? We're eating some of them here, but we'll take some of them with us.
The Don kind of perks up from behind his Marquesian newspaper.
We remember he found the circus in the Marquesian newspaper yesterday.
He did.
Is he reading at his usual table?
He is, yes.
Then we'll acquire a baker's dozen donuts. Not donuts, muffins. They don't have donuts here, do they?
I mean, they do.
Oh. We'll acquire a half dozen donuts and a half dozen bear claws because we seem to be in this now, so why not? We had the Arcane Go Cup yesterday. That feels like a long time ago. I guess it was several weeks in real time. Yesterday morning. Were we able to were we able to reclaim that Arcane Go Cup once you had finished the coffee to put more coffee in it this morning, or have you retained the Arcane Go Cup so that you can investigate its properties?
I have a feeling I would have allowed you to have the Arcane Go Cup in hopes that it would be returned to me full.
Excellent. Then we present the Arcane Go Cup, and we would like more coffee, please. Very hot.
Yeah, they fill it right up.
So we acquire 13 muffins, 6 each donuts and bear claws, and an Arcane Go Cup refill. How much does that cost us?
It is waived off.
And then we eye the person behind the counter a little suspiciously. You charged us yesterday.
She just shrugs at you. Well, it was a week or two ago now, and supplies were a bit tight then. They aren't now.
That's all right. We just didn't know if we had done something right. Well, thank you. And we'll drop, I assume there's a tip jar. We'll drop a gold in the tip jar and mosey on over to the Don's table.
For what it's worth, he recommended berries and carrot cake.
Oh, are those muffin styles?
Yeah.
Muffins? Okay.
Yeah.
That our baker's dozen muffins including 4 berry muffins and 4 carrot cake. And we'll get those like in a small, like have a box within a box situation so that we can have why carrot cake?
They don't grow well in Marquette. It's hard to get the ingredients.
It's hard to get carrots, or it's hard to get cake.
Carrots and berries. Chocolate grows very plentifully, but blueberries are more temperamental and there's not a lot of farmland for such things.
Is the coffee really much better?
He nods.
Should we not give V this? We need to give V this so that he gets as far as Marquette, and then he can have the good coffee. Thank you very much. We don't know if we need to introduce you or not. This is Corin.
He nods. I think I remember you. And Corin nods. So, you're running things now? And the Don nods. I am. If you're in need of water, come see me and we'll make arrangements. Corin nods. But seems kind of content to just move a little bit behind you, Tabby Cat.
We glance over our shoulder just a little bit, and then sort of poke at the newspapers. Anything today? Anything good about the circus or anything else? Anything we should know?
Nothing new about the circus. Mostly just boring politics.
Thank you for saving us from it.
Always.
Would you like a muffin?
I've had one already.
We shrug because that doesn't seem to make a difference. Thank you for the advice.
I
And
appreciate the offer.
then we will traipse off towards the manor.
Okay.
And as soon as we get out of earshot, well, like out of earshot and then the same distance again. Is there something we should know?
Corin looks at you and shakes his head. No, I don't think so.
We're used to standing behind you.
Don't want to get drawn into class business too quickly. I want to help you with whatever you need me to do first.
That's good. And then we sort of lapse into an awkward silence and continue to the manor. And then halfway there, recover from awkward silence and begin describing additional tattoo options. And that
He
should
is
carry us
very
the rest of the way.
interested. Very interested in tattoo options.
I am going to yield the floor while I look and see if any of these specialty inks seems like things we might be able to find in Whitestone.
Okay. E. You wake up with a kink in your back as you realize that you slept not the first time in the library, but definitely not your most comfortable time in the library.
He picks the book up off his face and tries to make sure he hasn't drooled in it. Literally.
You do not appear to have drooled in it.
Oh, good.
But it might have been a close thing.
He slowly assumes an upright position and heads back towards the breakfast room / follows the smell of food.
Easy enough.
Morning.
Good morning, V. How are you?
Awake.
You don't sound too well. You all right?
I think I forgot to stop reading until maybe 20 minutes ago.
That sounds like you.
Yes.
Was it at least a good book?
It was possibly purposely misleading? I've still not figured out why. I mean, obviously either they're an idiot, which is possible, or they're doing it on purpose, which is interesting.
Well, that sounds like a very intriguing book to me. What is the book about?
The different planes, it's kind of general purpose, like people who don't travel, I guess. But if you tried to travel to different planes and actually apply anything in this book, you would probably get murdered.
That doesn't sound fun at all.
Yes, but why did they write it this way?
That's a good question. Maybe we should ask the author.
He checks the author.
None listed.
Anonymous. Good thought, though.
Well, that's unfortunate.
He checks the book for any identifying marks.
You don't see any immediately.
Ah. Oh, this is getting weirder and weirder. Who writes a book, doesn't put their name on it?
Well, apparently whoever this author is.
Hmm. But don't most people who write glorified travelogues kind of do it for the fame?
Apparently not this author.
Apparently not.
I mean, are you really that surprised about this, V? I mean, look at the people you know.
Yes, but if it was written by one of the people I know, I'd expect there'd be some sort of code to figure out, and then the information would actually make sense.
Well, now I think you're thinking into it a little too much.
You mean that's not how all people think?
Well, not normal people, I wouldn't say.
Who do we know who's normal?
Well, this book isn't by anyone that you know. At least we don't think.
But we don't know. That's kind of the whole problem.
So are we now at the conspiracy theory that this is written by someone we know, and that person is now trying to write us a code, and now we need to decipher what the code is so that we can figure out what the message is?
Getting there. Give me another 8 hours. We'll definitely be there.
I will check on you then. And Joslin continues to sip on his tea.
Okay. Macklin, one of the girls heads out of the kitchen for a moment. And returns after a moment, jabbering excitedly about how Herr Blitzen is here.
Herr Blitzen is here. Oh. All right. Crush is in the building.
They are very excited. This one appears. The one who's excited is named Mila.
Mila. All right.
So there's 3 girls. In order of age, it's Sophia, Anna, and Mila. Because I feel like Macklin would actually get their names and remember them. And there are some men's voices coming from the front entry hall that you can hear.
All right. Yeah, what are they in the next room?
Yeah, in the vestibule.
Yeah, I'll take a stealthy peek over to see what the big tall deal's all about. See if I can't identify who these people are. With a name like Herr Blitzen, I imagine he's probably decked out in armor that's shiny.
Yeah, so there's 3 gentlemen in the hallway. well, two gentlemen and a lady. The two of them appear to be in ranger's garb. These two here, while the two in the back appear to be in armor. The gentleman on the left is wearing pretty standard plate. Yuri is in his full cleric plate.
Which of the two is shinier?
Oh, it's definitely Yuri. He's a cleric of Saren Ray.
Oh.
It's shiny. It's got gold glinting off of it. He's in blue underneath. He is blue underneath.
He
Yeah.
is blue underneath. Huh. Didn't Yuri, like, just lose his wife and kid?
He just lost his wife. His kid, yeah, basically.
Yeah, that was pretty recently.
A few months ago, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Mila down gently about why maybe he's not noticing,
Oh, okay.
and maybe like maybe give him some space and like be there. If you want to be friends, be a friend, be supportive. But this dude's seeing some shit. He's under a lot of stress right now. Maybe that's why he's not noticing what you're putting down. He's a good guy, and he is very shiny.
Mila looks. Yeah, she gets what you're laying down, and you see a devious glint in her eyes. But she does seem to understand what you're saying.
Oh no, I don't know what I've just done. I don't think I like what I've just done. But hey, Yuri could use a friend, and if that's what she's planning to do, then that's great.
There's definitely plotting in her eyes.
All right, well, let's. Oh, was that my alignment shifting?
No, I have my sound full turned on my phone because I'm still getting updates about my grandmother. So anytime I get it,
like lawful good or
Yo, I'm chaotic
Anytime
good. That seems pretty chaotic to me, so I don't know.
that's hella chaotic. No, I just I have my phone full sound on, so anytime anyone sends me a message, sends me a nudge, sends me anything, I get.
All right. Yes, good to know. They gotta. Yeah. They rightfully have a crush. Yuri's pretty handsome, good guy, great with kids, multilingual. That's always good, I guess.
And after a moment, Yuri waves to you, Jaws and Envy as he enters, and does stick his head in the kitchen.
I will wave him down and tell him breakfast isn't ready yet.
He nods, slowly looking over the people in the kitchen. Oh, hello, everyone. Have you seen either of my aunts this morning?
Wait, how many aunts does he have?
He's talking about Cure.
Who's the other one?
Cure or Ilya, judging by context.
My mouth just dropped there for a second, bro.
Oh yeah, okay. Sorry, yeah, they would be married, so they would be aunts. Got it.
I mean, also other ways, like.
Oh yeah, because they're all fucking adoption. I hate this.
Motherfucker.
Got it. Checks out.
Hold on, I can't hear you.
Okay.
That might be a good thing.
I'm back. Sorry.
Not wrong. Welcome.
Usually I can plug my headphones in via touch, and then they wouldn't go. So I took them off for a hot second just to plug them in, and then I completely dropped them over in a corner.
Welcome
All right.
back.
Thank you.
Welcome back. At the question, Macklin will bring his forearm up a little bit. No, would you like me to call one of them? I can call one of them.
It's not pressing. I can wait. Wait. Over there. Over there. And he escapes the kitchen. He goes to sit in the breakfast nook.
Good morning.
Okay. Can I roll insight on that? I think
Oh,
I know
yeah.
what's going on, but I just want to confirm.
Yeah, sure.
So that's a nat 20.
You get the feeling that maybe Bela has been aggressively trying to get Yuri, and Yuri is hiding.
Okay. Does she look just oblivious to that?
Oh yeah, yeah. She's got a little starry-eyed over him just being in the general vicinity.
I'll let her know that she's coming on a little too strong later. Not right now, but maybe later. Don't want to saturate and inundate her with, arguably bad dating tips from someone who doesn't date.
Okay. Sure. You finish your morning prayers?
Okay, I will finish my morning prayers. Then I will probably check on this bracelet that I forgot to make work last night and recall what I was told and experiment with setting a keyword for it to get my armor off and on.
Okay. Yeah, it works easily enough. You just have to set the keyword. Just as Ilya advises, something you wouldn't say naturally.
Okay, for now I would just set it to because Kiora lacks imagination, off and on in Zemnian.
Sure. Okay. Make a note of that somewhere.
Once she's satisfied that that she won't make herself naked by trying to take the armor off this way, she'll get her armor on and then head downstairs.
Okay. Where are you heading?
Down to the dining room.
Dining room or breakfast room? Because it appears there's two different meetings happening.
Breakfast room.
Okay.
I would know where royals eat breakfast. I was raised this way.
As you enter the breakfast room, you see Yuri is sitting at the table at the far side. Dazin and V are also there. One drinking tea, one drinking coffee.
I arch my eyebrow a little bit at Yuri. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Kyoa.
He is greeting with his coffee.
Good morning, Auntie. Here is the book you requested and some sketches from the seamstress. And he hands you 2 books and ducks off.
I am really expecting
Oh.
that kid to use Misty Step.
I take a seat on the far side of the table and set the books down and begin to flip through them.
Okay. Give me just a
Well, I
moment.
guess first I would look at the drawings, and then I would look at the books.
Well, that young man was very quick to leave.
I wonder why he ran off so quickly.
I do not understand
Looked
it.
a bit hunted, but maybe he's not a morning person.
Very strange, very strange. What books did he give to you, Cure? What sketches of what dresses?
Sending
Do
you
you
a
say
link.
sketches of dresses or just seamstress?
Seamstress. Jazen would make an assumption.
They're just some ideas for me to think about.
I'm sending it via Facebook because Discord's being a bitch.
Oh, okay.
Discord's been swallowing messages lately.
It's not that it's swallowing my messages, it's that it's like running update 1 of 7.
On Discord?
I really thought I had
Yep.
to open that today.
That's weird.
I mean, Discord does do updates every once in a while.
I never knew they did them in tandem like that, though.
I haven't updated in a while.
Ah. You think they'd just be one update, like a digest?
Alright, but I sent you the link of the jewel book and the sketches.
Appreciate it.
And let me know if you can access them because Pinterest is also being a bitch.
Oh boy. Oh, I can access them.
Okay.
Oh, this is a lot. Kiora is going to lean over and go into just like research mode as she looks over this stuff.
Does anyone know if Tab's even going to show up?
Tab always shows up.
I touch my communicator. Tab, are you showing up?
We're on our way. We were getting pastries and bear claws and donuts and muffins and coffee. Tell you we have coffee.
They have.
I
With-
concentrate on the communicator even as I speak out
And-
loud.
And
V,
as
Tab has coffee.
Yeah, simultaneously realizing that we're talking to the communicator say, V, we have coffee.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
V, I
We
don't
just got
know.
Stereo and stereo.
V, I don't know if you know, but Tab has coffee for you.
We have bear claws
Thank
for you, Jazen.
Oh, Tab, you are fantastic.
We know. But thank you for saying. Did you lose Macklin? We haven't heard him yet.
He's in the kitchen.
Macklin, Tab has coffee.
Not for him. Should we go back and get coffee? More?
It's not for him, but Tab, you can. Kiora pauses as she realizes she lost the thread of her own joke and goes back to studying her books.
And about then we walk in the door, still like talking into the communicator, like detailing out all the donuts and muffins and bear claws that we have. Oh, I can't tell on this map where the hallways are? Do we have to go through the Great Hall to get to the breakfast room?
No, you have to
Or-
go.
Oh, that's a door. So then you hear us coming up the hallway, both out loud and through the bracelets. And also we have berry and carrot cake, but the Don said that those are good for Marquette, so we weren't going to eat those this morning. We're going to take them to Marquette. Good morning.
Good morning, Kitab.
Walk in with Corin and set the Is there are plates? There's probably like a platter or something here, right?
Yeah.
Or we can find one. So here you can have 3 bear claws, and here are 3 donuts, and here's a blueberry muffin, and
Oh.
here is your coffee V, and we'll put 2 more muffins on the platter next to the 3 donuts and 3 bear claws, and hands V his coffee. And that's all that we have so far.
The coffee he had and accepts the new coffee.
There will be better coffee at Marquette. We're told.
Really?
We don't know, but that's what the Don said.
So, are we going to Marquette? Is that where we're going?
Oh, you weren't there?
I was
We
not.
think so?
Oh, okay.
Marquette or Wexensham? Or both? But one and then the other?
And
Once Macklin gets here, he'll be able to explain in a cohesive fashion.
That's not
Speaking of,
That's not our job.
are my companions speaking loud enough for me to hear in the kitchen?
We might
Yeah.
still be talking into the bracelet.
All right. Oh, you're still talking to the bracelet?
Yeah, I think because we're us, I think we probably we stopped talking to the bracelet long enough to dole out the pastries, and then we started talking to the bracelet again.
All right. I'll excuse myself from whatever the hell I was doing. Probably just gabbing and gossiping at this point. And make my way to the breakfast room. Good morning. Someone spoke the name of the devil and he arrived. Hello. Hi. Yes. Hi.
When did you get promoted to devil?
Well, I was an imp, but then I grew 2 inches and now I'm a devil.
Ah, I see.
Will you grow more?
Probably not. Not with all this stress now. He's gonna mosey on over to the table and take a seat. Just take a seat beside Jocelyn.
We perch in the windowsill
Everyone is here.
with a donut.
Wonderful. Jocelyn, welcome back. I
yeah.
presume your evening was well spent. That's good news. Last night, the lot of us did some planning and did some hard things. We came up with a list of things to do to help our chances as much as possible. We believe that Secret Assume is in the Oasis, that lovely little place where we went to back in Ankarel, or near Ankarel.
You mean where we went into Hades' temple?
Yes, right near there.
Yep.
The running idea is that if we can get a hold of Assume and bring him here, he can help strategize with Talia, who knows more about the Shadowfell than, well, anyone present. The sooner we get him, the sooner they can cobble something together. The idea is to instigate an insurgency.
Interesting. I like where the thought's going.
I sort of pause as
Yeah.
is that Mila?
Yep, Mila enters the room with a couple of platters and puts them on the table, as well as a pitcher of fresh coffee before bustling back off to the kitchen.
There's more coffee. There's more coffee.
There's also a huge platter of sausage and eggs, and another platter of bacon, and another large serving container of fried potatoes.
All right, I'm just gonna start serving myself.
Jocelyn is just eating the bear claw and drinking tea.
Yep, there's meat to be had.
Tell us if any of it is good. Oh, you were going to say you remember Corin, but we can't remember if you met him. We sort of gestured everyone with the remaining half of donut, and consider introductions made.
I'll finally look up from the book.
Give me a moment to grab him a token.
The way is Corin here.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I'm glad I worked with Corin.
I've had too many characters to know if Jocelyn knows Corin or not.
I don't think Jaws, because I definitely Ferg was there. So I don't. It was in hell, so I don't think Jocelyn would have met.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes. I agree.
I think you're right. But then again, Joslin's also old as dirt, so who knows?
That's true. Yeah.
I mean-
that we know of, certainly there any number of other things are possible, I suppose. Did Mila give Macklin any like? Was there any hint there that there had been any conversation about anything, or is she far too professional for that?
Oh no, she's being professional. Ish.
Good work, Mila.
This is gonna have to do for Corin until I can get him a proper token. All of my human tokens look creepy as fuck.
Why? What have you done?
No, it's just this Pathfinder set. Like,
Oh, that's
all
why.
of
'Cause
them-
it's Pathfinder.
all of them look super aggro or are not actually humans.
Pathfinder
specs,
is
though.
like edgier D&D.
There you go.
That said, what does Corin look like? Is the icon representative of how they
Nope.
appear?
Not at all.
Didn't think so. Just wanted to make sure I wasn't remembering wrong.
No, he looks like a pretty tall, tan skin. He's tall, like for as tall as small as Tab is, he is tall. Probably a solid 6'1". Broad shouldered, dusty blonde brown hair, pulled back into a ponytail. Soft brown eyes that, he's looking you all over. But he seems pretty quiet.
At Tab's mention of remembering Corin, and Macklin will nod in Corin's direction. Yes, we found you back in hell. Glad to see you made it back in one piece.
Nods to you.
So he will help with the plan as well.
This is news. As far as
We just kind of blink, not following whatever was supposed to be the second half of that sentence that we think we were supposed to have understood, but don't.
as far as securing us soon, invading the library, or planning an insurrection?
Maybe all,
Oh,
but we were thinking the insurrection.
I incline my head toward Corin. Are we talking hands-on assistance?
It's worth noting that the plans that I'm sure Tab mentioned involve going directly head-to-head against the Whispered One and his forces. Is this something you would be interested in?
I suppose what we're asking is, are you here to aid us in combat?
We look a little concerned. We don't know that we were suggesting that.
Not aid us in combat so much as aid in the effort against the Whispered One. Not everyone wants to get involved with that fight.
Precisely.
He looks you all over. I am fine with it. I generally go where Tab goes.
That may be hazardous to your health.
Not more than usual. He might be overstating it a bit, but he's very good.
I
Acklin
keep my focus on Corin.
just nods toward Tab and then nods toward Corn. Well, if you're along for the ride, buckle up. It's going to be rough.
Can I insight check Corin to see how comfortable he is with this?
Sure. Roll an insight check.
I've been
That's-
rolling so good lately. This was a long time coming.
That's quite a pair.
I don't know him well enough.
Corin's a hard read. Right. We're going to use this token for Corin.
Oh, that handsome lad.
No more cool specs.
I mean, we could probably draw on top of the token if you want, if you really need the spectacles.
I don't think he canonically has any. I just like glasses.
Glasses are rad.
Also, about how old is he?
Probably solidly like 40. Maybe like just 40, but definitely he's a full ass grown adult. Especially compared to some of you guys.
'Cause that's what happens when you live 10 years instead of jumping over them.
So he's definitely not a Felian.
Heroic? I think
I was
not.
going to say, I don't know Felian enough to know what that means, but it sounds like it means something.
Felian was kind of old. His heart stopped at one point, and I thought it was natural causes.
That seems likely.
I think I broke my hand. I did break my hand trying to slap him awake, too.
Felian
God,
was
Felian was fun.
old.
I know we tried to pick him up that one time.
Felian was old, but looked like he was in his 20s.
Was that what it was? It was when he
Yeah.
retired, he instantly turned into the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, he was
Wow.
just, that's how
But
it
his hair was
works.
shock white, wasn't it?
Salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper. Okay, now I remember. Oh man, my memory is garbage tonight. Sorry, guys.
No, these things happen. Oh, there she is again.
She
Oh,
bustles
no.
through the breakfast room to the dining room.
Is Macklin reacting at all as she walks
He's
through?
he's doing that thing where his brows go high and he puffs up his cheeks and like it's not a sigh, but it's like a whoo, but without making a sound.
Is this noticeable or is this not?
He's not trying to hide it. He noticed. Oh no.
And she comes back through. Can they get anyone anything? Well, what do you have? And she's actively looking over Kyor's shoulder to look at the book.
Research.
What do you have?
I'm gonna roll a perception check.
I close the book on the drawings.
Pretty research then. And she's going to head back into the kitchen.
What are you reading? The poet wants to know.
Yeah, I myself am curious about this research core. Is it about monsters?
I purse my lips as several quips come to mind. No, the book's on jewelry.
Well, what kind of jewelry are you looking for? Bowls with jewels on them, like holy gems? What are you looking
I'm not
for?
really looking for anything in particular. I don't know what I'm looking for.
They write books about jewelry.
Hence research, yes. I was
What-
amazed to find that out as well.
What is it about them?
Pictures.
We hop down from the windowsill and walk over to and then realized when we got there that the book is already closed. Is the cover visible?
I sigh a little bit and I'll flip it open to a random page, not where the drawings are.
And this like is this like a history of jewelry? Is it
Are you
etiquette book? What's going on?
So is it a random page of the jewel book or the sketchbook?
The jewel book.
Jewel
The
book.
sketchbook, I would put the jewel book on top of the sketchbook.
Okay. Roll me a d20.
Now, Kira, keep in mind, we did have a conversation about being honest with each other. It was a rather long one.
I have not said a single lie.
Oh, that's the wrong window.
Yes, but you're holding back something.
I'm sending a picture of what you see into group chat.
I don't see this.
In Facebook.
It's disappointing.
Oh,
Jesus.
Something to make over breakfast.
I'm trying to get Facebook to do the thing.
I'm just saying, Kira, I've been with you for a very long time, and know when you're holding back.
It's very pretty.
It is rather pretty.
So anyways, let's continue.
Return to the windowsill.
Let's continue the discussion of the plan, because I have no idea what the plan is. Besides, we're going to start an insurrection. Insurgents.
Yes, as far as we know, in Thar Umphala, there are some Sardakai who are willing to work against Vecna. They would be sympathetic to our cause. If we can stir up the pot, we can keep him off of his toes. We can force his attention to his tower down there. That would simultaneously pull him away from his efforts on the front line. He has been appearing here and there during these scuffles. We could take the pressure off of those above and force him to face us down below. However, facing him on his own turf would be fruitless if we cannot keep him in place. That is where the Cobalt Reserve Archive comes into play. There is a ritual of planar binding within one of the reserves. We believe it to be in the Cobalt Archive in Wildabout. Specifically, the Sultrance Academy in Rexcentrum.
I'm not. No, not. The Sultrance Academy was near the Rexcentrum Archive. The main archive was in Rexcentrum, and then there's the Valley Archive in Zadash. There's an archive in Port Damali, but that's unlikely to have what we're looking for. The Sultrance Academy had something to do with their magic, I think.
It's where the teleportation circle is, but we were told we should not stay long. If we needed Ojin to send us, that's where we would go, and then Ilya said we should leave quickly.
It's also likely that in the same reserve we'll find information about how to destroy a reliquary. So that part of our mission is twofold. We'll need to find the actual planar binding ritual, somehow acquire it, as well as research how to destroy something like this.
Now, when we're talking about planar binding, I mean, there are certain spells that I know that bind creatures to planes, but it depends on the creature. Do we know if this planar binding is, how do you say, for the undead?
I would assume, and I glance toward V and then toward Tab, the aforementioned ritual.
I need
Captain's ears
to
perk up as a
look at
loud
a
cheer.
I need to get to a previous set of notes to double check that one.
Bind spellcaster was laying there. Was the specifics that were noted?
Victory.
But obviously, I don't know the rest. Because the whole point was we didn't have the actual spells to look at.
We don't remember if it was for the undead, but it was for very powerful spellcasters.
Yeah, so then it definitely would have to be more sophisticated than the one that I know, and the one that I know takes an awful long time to cast.
And if it's within the Cobalt Reserve, there must be something special about it. All signs point to this being what we need. Well, enough signs pointed to warranting investigation.
So we'll investigate.
And if necessary, require it.
What time is it in Rexentrum?
What time is Rexentrum?
What time is it in Rexentrum?
Is
it the
that
same time
even?
difference?
Is that within my wheelhouse of knowing?
Roll a history check.
History. I know history. I do a read. Okay. 24.
24. Yeah. They're about 12 hours off from you all.
Rexentrum is about 12 hours off. So where it's noon here, it would be midnight there. When it is noon here.
And Marquette is the same, but in a different
Let's see.
direction.
Yes, if I'm not mistaken.
We're not sure what that means in terms of when we should go.
So, to be clear, one is one on one side of us, and the other is on the other side of us.
We
I
nod and
really
take a
should
bite
have
of
a nap.
donut to recover from this intense amount of focus that we are devoting to this problem right now. Yeah, my if I remember the map correctly, that is the way of it, isn't it?
So Marquette isn't actually on any of the maps I could find of Exandria, which is
Yeah.
I think I had said that Marquette was about 8 hours ahead.
Oh yeah, they're on different sides of the world. Marquette is west and Wildmount is east.
Okay,
That checks out.
I just want to make sure that I know our direction. So I take it, we would go to Marquette or Rexentrum, find the Seeker, and then we would bring him back with us here. Am I right so far?
That
And the
does
Seeker
seem
is
to
in
be
Marquette, not Rexentrum.
Marquette, yes.
That's one
Aside
there.
from that, yes.
And
Get
then
him so he has...
get him so he and Ilya can discuss their knowledges. Then we head to the Cobalt something or other that you speak of.
let's see.
Cobalt
Cobalt
Soul.
Archive.
Okay. And then from there we come back from there. No, don't stay too long there. We do our research quick and come back. And then plan whatever we're planning for.
B, how
Asshole.
much time will you need at the library?
Unfortunately, I have no idea. It depends how big it is, how organized it is, and if I have to find it myself or I can actually, ask the question, which might be really, really suspicious.
The archive does present the most number of unknowns. It could take us a day. It might take us several. Ideally, we move as quickly as possible, but if this library is a giant sprawling maze, well, it's a giant sprawling maze.
Kira, will you need to protect us from the books?
I can certainly try.
We're not saying you shouldn't come. We just know that you wanted to be here. So if you don't think we need protection from the books, that's all right too.
It's not so much the books I'm worried about. It's the other things around the books.
As Ilya steals a piece of bacon off of your plate.
Who protect you from her?
Protect me from whomst? I say without even reacting to the bacon.
Protect your bacon, really?
I'm not sure if I can lay claim to that bacon.
Do it yourself. We'll walk over and retrieve some bacon from the platter in general, not from Cure's plate.
Appreciated.
So we do our research that we need to do. We come back here. We plan. We take. We contemplate our situation from there.
Yes. We'll form a plan and we'll stage a date.
Okay. The next question I ask is, how do we plan on getting from one side of the world to the other side of the world, from that side back, then from here to the other side of the world to come back here?
I think we were hoping you could help.
Magic.
But maybe if you're the one asking, then maybe not.
Well, that's all going to depend. The problem is with certain spells like teleportation, it requires having the knowledge of a particular circle. Otherwise, I can only get us so close, and depending on the area, well, that close might not be close at all. Marquette, I can get us to. The other place, I don't know much about, as I've never been there before.
I believe we'll need Odrin's help for that one. He does know of a teleportation circle in the Solstrace Academy.
Very good. Well, that will be helpful. Once I know the circle, I could get us back and forth whenever we want. I happen to know of a circle in a certain temple that, well, isn't far from Maquette. It still would be a little bit of a travel. I don't know of a teleportation circle in Marquette.
The one within the Temple of Hades?
Yes.
Well, that's just fine. I believe that, let's see, or assume is within the oasis, the town between Marquette and the temple. So that should put us within, I think, a day's travel. I believe it was a day's travel from the oasis to the temple.
Yes, I think it was roughly that far long.
That is more or less our plan. Fetching Seeker Assume is likely to be the easier part of it.
So you think? It depends on what's happening in Marquette. How much knowledge do we have of what's going on over there or in that area?
Well, we do know that there was an attack not too long ago, and that Assume is resting up.
I'll look over at Ilya. Have you heard of anything going on in Marquette that we should be aware of?
In the city proper, no. I'm in fairly regular contact with Jamon, and they haven't given anything to be concerned about. They've been very helpful as far as supplies and outfitting our army. One of our better allies. More useful anyway.
Well, it's good to hear. If all goes well, we wouldn't need to travel to Ankara.
You may have to take a rain check on the coffee. I glance over in Tab's direction.
We have moved to the other side of the windowsill and begun like we have the spell book laid out on the windowsill and have begun like arranging the tattoo inks next to it to consider our options, the various colors. We look up when not so much listening to what Macklin's saying as sort of sensing that attention has been redirected. Or sorry, what? We got distracted.
The coffee and the tourism.
We listened to most of the plan. You're telling me he can't have coffee?
If he is welcome to bring coffee, if he desires to bring coffee. But it looks like we will not be entering on Karel proper.
Is that what the coffee is?
That's where the good coffee is.
We'll take you another time, V. If we don't get good coffee this time.
If you're very
Alright.
heartbroken about it, you can have some from my private stash.
V's eyebrows go up.
Ilya looks at you. It's a very level look. You feel like the gray eyes bearing into you. This is a limited offer. If I find that all of my coffee is missing and I have to get the swill at the Slayer's take, I will be very disappointed.
I'm
So we
slightly offended that you think I'm that stupid.
So we should stop for coffee in Marquette and bring some back for you, is what we're hearing.
That's not a terrible plan.
That would add a few extra days to our travel.
I wouldn't recommend it then. Though, I'm sure you can find something at the Oasis. I assume you're going to after assume?
Correct.
He'll be at the Oasis then. Probably under the care of Seta.
There's probably someone there who likes coffee. Under the care of who?
Seta, though actually he might be staying with our newlyweds.
Which ones?
Sorrow and the Tabaxi girl, I can't remember her name.
Dusk!
That one, yes.
They finally got hitched. Oh, lovely. Things are going all according to order.
They got
Interesting.
hitched.
They're in the Oasis right now.
They are. They got hitched before, actually, just before you all went missing.
Oh, my time frame is all out of whack. That's great news.
But they have been, I believe, working in the Oasis. With Sorrow feeling that it'd be best to give all of Tal'Dorei some space.
I can't, and I should be able to remember this, but Sorrow is Ghost, or Sorrow is a different time stream of Ghost?
Different time stream of
Okay,
Ghost.
thank
A
you.
younger Ghost.
Thank you.
Okay, so if that is our plan, when would you like to leave to do so?
We thought this
When?
evening, unless it's changed.
Unless things have changed. I was hoping for evening. Around 5 p.m. should be about noon over there. That will give us plenty of time to acclimate and get moving. Alternatively, we could leave earlier and arrive there by morning. Catch the sunrise.
We don't mind if the plan changes.
I'm more than happy to leave when the rest of you are ready and feel as though it's necessary.
I suppose the better question is, does anyone object to leaving at around that time? Does anyone have more business to attend to here? Does anyone just want a few more hours to themselves to rest and relax?
We were going to try something, but we can do it later.
He shrugs. I had one more person I might have gotten in contact with, but it's not terribly urgent.
Well, we've got time.
I mean, if you guys want to take the time until 5, that is perfectly fine, and I am more than willing to do so. I have no objections to staying, and I have no objections to leaving. It is up to you all.
We feel certain that at some point during the evening we described at great length to Corin what the planning process looks like, and we give him a significant and pained look that he probably has seen many times in the past while making his own plans.
I believe Tab is eager to get going as soon as possible.
We could just climb out this window and come back when you're all ready.
Corin laughs. Why don't you all split the difference and leave at 3?
Will that give you time to do that thing you were planning to do, Tab?
We don't know. We've never done it before. Maybe we'll go find some ink instead. Different ink. Do you know where there's ink?
There's ink.
We hold up one of the like a little bottle of red ink and sort of wave it at them.
There's a bookstore nearby.
Why on earth do you need ink?
For tattoos. Some of it's magical. We have non-magical here. We thought we might find some magical. So that it looks better.
Magical ink for tattoos. That sounds like serious business.
My
Perhaps
Are
you
you
could...
sure you don't want to practice with the regular ink before you get into the magical
Tattoo.
ones?
We're not sure, but if it's going to look, it might as well look. We're not sure.
Well, there are a number of arcanists in town. I know Elmika and Jordana may be able to supply something.
Elliot does not stay around for the talk of tattoos. But we're not. We've been waiting, so we can keep waiting. If it means we don't have to wait, we start putting everything back into the box.
I did plan on paying Ava a visit as well. She might know something. Would you like me to ask?
We could go with you.
Macklin
And
rubs
then
his chin a little bit.
then insight check to see how much Macklin hates that idea.
He would also like to do an insight check on that because that's funny.
28.
28 insight?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Promise to be honest about things. He looks as though he had not considered it at first. He seems somewhat puzzled, not stunned, but puzzled, but he shrugs and nods a bit.
We thought we were kidding. Do you really want us to go? Or do you just not mind?
I do not mind if you would like to come along. Just be sure not to. She's very particular about her space. I think you know that already, though. Touching things, moving things.
Maybe we won't, but thank you very much.
You're welcome. Would you still like me to ask?
Yes, please.
I shall do so. She has an eclectic catalog of information.
There's some that glows if you're near something, not the wrong, but a specific sort of creature.
There's an ink that glows when you're near a specific creature.
A specific sort of creature. So it would be gnomes, not Macklin.
There's
don't-
an ink that glows around gnomes?
We nod.
How, why would someone make an ink that glows around gnomes?
And you set it to what kind of creature you want, Bab?
That is
We-
the better question, because I'm feeling awfully paranoid right now.
It's just the example.
Okay,
We-
so there are inks that will glow around certain creatures.
There's also inks that would glow around undead things, but we thought that might be confusing for you.
We do encounter a lot of undead. We may start flashing and strobing.
Maybe not less confusing than gnomes. We don't know if we want it. We just wanted to know if it could be had.
Oh, ask if there is a type of ink that will glow around creatures.
No, there is here. And we hop
There
down
is.
and show him the book and point to the part where it talks about different kinds of ink, some of which glow around certain
Oh.
kind of creatures, and some of which have cool elemental effects, and some of which
Yeah.
just
I'm gonna take out another a notebook and just jot some things down
and we point
as
to
far as questions.
especially to, and this looks, we don't know if it's gray or we think it's supposed to be gray, and then if you have different feelings it changes. We don't know if that's a good idea either, but it sounds very interesting.
It's an ink that changes color with your mood. That is something.
It is.
Are you sure you'd want to wear your heart on your sleeve so easily?
It's not for us.
For whomst?
We don't know. That would be a plan. And this is temporary, so you paint it. So if you don't like
Ah.
needles, you can still have a tattoo for a little bit.
I see. So glowing creature ink, mood ink, elemental ink. Was there anything else you wanted to know about?
We think that's enough for today. Thank you.
All right, I'll see what she knows.
We'll pick a tattoo for you too.
For me,
You can decide later if you want it, but we'll pick one.
Tab, I haven't had a tattoo in a very long time.
Where's your yeah? Where is your current tattoo, Macklin? I don't think I've ever seen it. Oh, wait.
You weren't there for that, were you?
I can't see it. Never mind.
Let's just say it's in a very embarrassing place, and it's a very embarrassing tattoo.
We all have those.
I do
Well,
not
feel
have
less
one.
Embarrassed.
Not everyone.
Well, Tab can fix that for the both of you, can't he?
We weren't planning on doing embarrassing ones, but we could practice. We look a little dubious and start flipping through the book again. We don't think there's anything in here that's specifically embarrassing, but we're looking.
I do not want an embarrassing tattoo, but thank you, Tab. I really do appreciate it.
This one looks like a hummingbird.
Yeah, depending on what color you do the mark of the flock in, that. I mean,
I'm really
hot
wondering
pink
what would
ravens
happen to
be
Jocelyn
interesting.
if we gave him the tattoo of true sight. Be
Hot
Fury over
pink
Tab's
ravens.
shoulder.
Hot pink raven sounds vaporwave as fuck.
It really does. Cure, there's one here that's about ravens. That might be too much commitment for now.
Cure chokes on the piece of muffin she was eating.
Oh, you flapped her. She's been flapped.
Should we say we're sorry?
That is too much commitment for me to consider at the moment.
Oh crap! Hold on. Holy shit! That's so bad.
Oh no. What just happened?
A 1, a 1, and a 2 just happened.
Wow.
Oh no. Is someone snooping?
Nope.
Apparently not.
Who goes there?
Did Ilya just choke on her bear claw?
Not quite. Sure. You're getting alarm, 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 alarm from Edgar.
Oh no. We don't know.
I kind of sit up a little straighter. Send back that mental inquiry. What? Where? What?
Bad.
I'll do a quick little location ping.
Should we apologize? We don't know if you almost choked because you were laughing or because you were angry.
I'll
Is
get
that-
up and start moving towards Edgar. Excuse me a moment.
Well, it's not very polite to interrupt our conversation.
Oh, that's good.
The halls in this place are so weird.
I know, I hate it. I'm gonna have to redo this one eventually. It's one of those like they're never there. These will never be relevant, and then I'm like, oh, now it's relevant, and I wish I had redone it.
You're cured. Just knock walls down. Make new hallways.
I'm the juggernaut, bitch.
I mean, the fastest way would be through.
Through the pantry.
Yeah.
I go
There
through the
are these
pantry.
ways.
Yeah. So, Alina is holding her arm, which is sticking out at a very strange angle on the ground, and she's doing that like deep breath thing. It looks like she's dislocated her shoulder.
Oh, Alina, what on earth has happened?
And she just looks at you. It's not Edgar's fault.
I blink and I look over at Edgar. What happened? Look back at Alina.
She's having a hard time concentrating on what you're saying. She's trying very hard not to cry, but she's definitely like starting to like tear up and cry, and yeah, her arm is definitely dislocated.
All right, hold on a moment. I'm going to gently investigate, just confirm that it's dislocated. Drawing on my memories, I mean, amongst fighters, I feel like a dislocated shoulder is probably one of the most common injuries, so I probably know how to set this, but I'm taking a moment to kind of investigate to make sure that it's okay to be set first.
Yeah, roll a medicine check. Yeah, blown knees and dislocated shoulders. You've seen a lot, especially on the wall in Vasselheim. You're a little impressed that she's not like screeching right now.
All right. I'm going to take off my bag of holding and pull on the leather strap. I want you to bite down on this. This will hurt, but then it will feel much better.
Yep, she nods and does what you say.
Okay, whether I can do it on the ground or if I have to stand her up to move over her to someplace to help with, I'm going to try and help reset that arm back into its socket.
Okay, roll another medicine check.
As I'm doing this, I'm going to put in 5 points of lay on hands, just to make sure that the warm glow of healing will help just numb the pain.
Mm-hmm.
All right, medicine. Hey.
Yeah, this is not the first time you've done this.
Arms I can do. Legs are something else entirely.
Arms you've had practice.
Forget about knees.
You understand how arms work. Yeah, no, she definitely lets out a screech.
Good thing she's biting down on that leather strap.
Yeah. Let me just check yeah. And she is biting down on it. And it pops right back into place.
All right, it's over. Lay down, be calm. It's all right. I'll kind of like stroke her hair and just keep one hand gently on her shoulder to keep her from moving the arm around too much.
Yeah, she's like buried into you. She's having a little bit of a freak out.
I'll gather her up into my arms and just hold her.
Yeah, you get cold wet nose to the ear as someone is definitely like trying to help.
Oh, not me. Not. I turn a little bit so he can get to Alina.
Yeah.
Edgar just like plunks himself down and like stretches his legs out between us, so he's like kind of looming over and brushing his breast up against Alina.
Yeah, he was starting to calm down.
Surrounded by all the animals.
She's got 2 pets and 2 moms. She's good.
I look up as Alina approaches. Just a bit of an accident. Everything's okay.
All right. Yeah, Ilya's gonna look her over. Fucking lord. Okay, this dice is going to jail. Can't tell anything because she rolled a 1 and a 2. She looks a little frazzled. She's listening to you, but she's definitely still trying to like figure out what the hell just happened.
Alina, perhaps you could tell us exactly what's happened?
Roll a persuasion check. I'll give you advantage.
Ooh, child. 22. Kind of low for me.
I mean, it does work. Sorry. I strongly recommend that you don't get a cold immediately after you get your vaccine.
I'll certainly try my best.
Yeah.
She looks at you. We were trying to fly upside down and I fell.
Flying upside down in the Great Hall.
She nods.
Edgar is not the best at maneuvering in small, confined spaces.
It's not his fault, it's mine.
I'll kind of pet her and run my hands gently through her hair. Well, the important part is that you're not hurt. I think we should try to keep you grounded for a little bit. And I mean that in the literal sense, not the metaphorically you're grounded, but literally you're not leaving the ground.
Ilya nods a little bit. Perhaps we save flying for when you're 10.
Riding a flying mount requires an entirely different skill set than chasing cats. You'll need to walk on some physical strength before you can do that.
Ilya looks over Alina. All right, perhaps you should. You know what? Captain Greenhill is in town. Why don't you see her at the stables and get a riding lesson? On the ground. No jumps.
And be sure to tell her what happened to your shoulder. You'll need to take it easy with it for a little while.
Alina looks. She's sniffling, but she wipes her face. Okay. And stands up. And she looks excited, especially at the mention of Captain Greenhill. Got Edgar has to stay here, doesn't he?
He does. He's going to need to escort me on a trip a little later.
You're going again?
In a few hours. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure of the schedule.
Okay. Say bye before you leave, okay?
I will.
She'll give you a hug.
I'll give her a hug back. If I have some time, then I'll swing by the stables to see if I can ride with you for a bit.
That would be nice.
I'll give her a little peck on the forehead. Love you. Now, no more falls.
Love you too. I don't promise anything.
I snark a little bit.
You see Ilya just rub in between her eyes.
Not sure if that's more you or more me.
She just shrugs.
I'll walk
Alina.
over to Edgar and give him a little rub on the neck and scratch. All right, no more flying indoors. Huh.
You do see, it looks like, roll an insight check.
Who am I inciting?
Just the general scene.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that's advantage or not.
Yeah, yeah, it is advantage. So you get the feeling that there was some sort of game. Oh my god, I just screwed up that dog. There we go. That's dog shaped. There is some sort of game happening with a leather ball, a series of stacked chairs, and both animals.
What on... Children. I can't even be too upset about that because I'm just thinking back to my own experiences. I'll head back to the breakfast room.
Okay. As you both go back to your respective meetings.
Right, so we're leaving this afternoon, right? Is it settled? Are we agreement?
I believe so. 3 or 5.
You can split the difference and leave it 3.
We were afraid for a moment you were going to say 4. And then we were going to split it again and again and again.
Kior, is 3 o'clock okay for you?
Yes, have a walk. Thank you.
Fair enough. And you're welcome. Where would you like to meet? I take it we're all going to go our own separate ways and do our own separate things.
Like
You can stay with us if you want. Who's going to find Odrin? Or are we going to No, we're going to Marquetter, so we don't need him. But should we find him anyway?
I will go talk to my brother. I plan on going to talk to him before we leave.
But who's going to find Odrin?
I will go talk to my brother.
He means that he will find Eldrin.
Now you will go find Odrin, Tab.
And your brother, thank you.
Yes, I will go find them both.
I pause and look at Tab. Odrin is his brother.
We had figured that out. We were just wondering how many times he would say it.
I dare say as many times as you ask, knowing him.
We think you're right.
I think you are both right.
I think I had an errand to run, so I'll be going.
Did you really? Or you just want to be somewhere else?
I actually have an errand to run.
We will meet in the living room at 3 o'clock. Sound good? Okay, fantastic.
Excellent.
Speed, do you want your amulet back?
Oh, Jazen, you are the most genius man in the world, the smartest one of them all.
What?
Josen, I think you should see someone. You started to go delusional.
He's very old. Sometimes that happens.
You're right. I suppose we'll have to keep a closer eye on him now.
Oh, wow.
Josen just shakes his
Ow.
head.
That was literally his response.
What time is it now? It's mid-morning?
Solidly 8:30. Yeah.
Oh, early. Macklin, we paid attention to most of a plan.
Head not in Tab's direction. It's not much of a plan, but it's something.
How do you think this is all going to end?
The plan or everything?
Actually, point of order before we answer. Is Kior still in the room, or is Kior wandered off? I can't remember if that was
He's still
stipulated.
there.
Okay. Maybe both.
I don't know.
Does that bother you?
I think a year ago it might have. But at this point, one way or another, if it comes to an end, I'll be happy.
Thank you. Please tell Ava we said hello.
I will. Nod in Tab's direction and get out of my chair and begin to move.
You're heading to Ava's?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Doesn't take you long to get there.
All right, make my way to the boarding house and I'll snoop around and see if she's topside or in her workshop.
She appears to be in her workshop.
Town map! Hell yeah! Gotta zoom back out. Oh, there I am. Right on. Yeah, I'll knock at the entrance, but I'll knock at the door before, well, opening the door. Assuming she doesn't just shout up at me.
And she does shout for whoever it is to come in.
All right, I'll make my way down. So, what's on today's docket?
She looks up. She's at a chopping board. Various ingredients about. She looks at everything over. This. Oh, illicit things.
I would expect nothing less. Do you need a hand? Not
You're
for measuring and
volunteering.
mixing, but cutting things I'm fairly good at, I've learned. I have a few hours to kill. I'd like to see if I can help in some way.
If you have a few hours to kill, I could think of better things than cutting hallucinogenic mushrooms.
Are you absolutely certain? Because that sounds like a good time. To some.
You take the hallucinogenic mushrooms if you have a few hours to kill.
I don't have that many hours to kill. Besides, I've been relatively straight-laced since my demon days. It'll take more than a few near-death experiences to bring back that Macklin.
Much like me, then. Dangerous these days to lose too much of your senses. And she will pull out a fresh cutting board and a knife for you.
All right. I'll get down to business. Follow what instructions she has to offer.
Gloves, please.
The leather ones won't do.
No.
Strip my gloves off.
She will hand you a pair of waxed leather gloves. They appear to be leather, but they're not quite. They're definitely more dexterous than you're used to. And as you put them on, they move to fit your hand like a second skin.
Ooh. These are gloves fit for a criminal.
She grins at you. Oh, I don't know any of those.
Yes, we all live rather straight-laced lives these days.
Well, maybe more interesting times are on the horizon.
One can hope. Hopefully sooner than later. There's been news of things. I'll go on to explain the due date, the roughly 1 month's time deal.
That seems about right. He's got a eye for grandeur.
Yeah. Vanity is a strong suit. We're not sure when we plan to go down there to do the thing, but we are putting together a plan to weigh the odds as much as we can in our favor. But it does seem that we are in the end game. Later in the evening, we'll be heading to Carrel, Marquette, whichever it is. Marquette, there's a small town. There's someone there who we believe may be able to help us do some planning. And from there, we need to investigate a library of some kind, the Cobalt Reserve in Wildmount. There's not much to go on as far as details are.
In the Cobalt Reserve, there's a straight-laced group.
Say again?
The Cobalt Reserve, there's a straight-laced group.
Monks, I believe, right?
Mm.
Do you know much of them?
I've had a run-in a time or two.
I glance in the direction of her library. It just
Yeah.
nod. We may need to acquire one of their books. I assume that, well, like all those who gather information, they would keep them guarded. Is that a right assumption?
That is very correct. There's I think 2 ways you could probably get information from the Cobalt Soul. Steal it, or bargain for it.
A straight-laced group like that, what could they possibly want in exchange?
Oh, all sorts of things. They dabble with various types of information gathering.
Various types of information gathering is a wide and eclectic selection of things to go over. Between the lot of us, I can't imagine what we could offer them. Unless they want secrets about the Raven Queen from Cure.
Maybe. I wouldn't know. I tend to be more antagonistic with them.
Due to your former run-ins?
Indeed.
Well, I had erred toward the idea of slipping in, finding the thing, and slipping out. It might not be the nicest thing to do, but now is not the time for hoarding information. Not while he's still around.
Well, I can only encourage stealing from them. Turnabout is fair play, after all.
Those kinds of run-ins. And he nods. Shall I leave a calling card?
No.
I see,
believe that
Grandeur.
they think that they've killed me, so I wouldn't want to disabuse them of that knowledge.
Your secret will be safe with me.
I didn't catch that.
Your secret will be safe with me.
She nods. Appreciate it. As you might understand, some people have a hard time seeing the humanity in others.
He nods slowly. I have come to realize there's a spectrum. There's a lot of beings out there who don't get the credit that they deserve.
She nods and runs her knife through a thick mushroom before moving it to the side and pulling out a large. It looks almost like a fruit if it weren't so oddly colored and kind of hairy.
Ew.
It's disgusting, yes.
Well, that's repulsive. Looks like a tumor.
It's a venom sac.
Ah,
You have a few hours before you're heading to Marquette and to Exentrum. How are you getting there?
chosen a teleportation spell. It should take us to close to where we need to go. Then to Rexentrum, I believe will be. There's a teleportation circle in the Soul Stress Academy.
Backlin. Be careful at the Solstice Academy.
Whatever for?
They are fucking vipers.
Oh, fucking vipers.
They will smile at you while they stab you in the back.
Duly noted. We were warned not to stick around too long.
And be exceptionally careful with Cure.
Sobering up, he furrows his brows. Why exactly?
How
I
much,
shall do as you say, but I would
Of
like to be
course.
warned.
how much did you study the history of the fall of the beginning of the Empire?
I'm afraid I'm a bit foggy on that.
Hmm.
The Dwendali Empire, yes?
That's the one.
I recall Dwendal was spurned by one of the... Was it Ilse?
A little further down the line.
Further
Zelda.
down the line. Elder.
Zelda.
Salda, not our Salda. And I gesture toward deeper in the city.
She nods.
Well, I can understand. I understand his enmity toward the Tal'Dorei in general. But why Cure? Simply because she's the fixation of Ilia's interest, or something else?
She carries a Tal'Dorei name.
No, that makes sense.
She is very close to the Tal'Dorei family.
And King Dwendal is paranoid and angry enough to keep spies. He would know what's going on.
Ilia was raised to retake that kingdom.
I think he'd try to take her and have a gambit then.
He'd either take her, try a gambit, or make an example of her.
I think Cure has a disguise kit somewhere. I shall warn her of this. Perhaps I can convince her to take a pseudonym. Wouldn't that be something?
They were rather brutal with the last of the Rexington.
That much I heard of.
She nods. And they promise to do the same to any Tal'Dorei that sets foot on that continent again.
Right, so we probably won't let them know of our relation to that particular group of people. So
Also,
keep...
a good thing to keep in mind is that Ilia did spurn the advances of their representative as well.
When was this?
When you all were missing, Aunt Costume made several overtures.
Right, Cosime, Dwendal's puppet. Yes, that's all coming back. Why, it has been a year.
It really has.
Well, hopefully it all ends soon. That said, part of why I came by. We plan on moving things soon. I don't know how soon, I don't know when, I don't know what the date is. Hopefully by the time we're done in Extension, we'll have a better idea of what we plan to do and when we plan to do it. But we are hoping to have a little bit of downtime before then. I don't know what to expect in the Shadowfell. I don't know what to expect of myself, or expect of my allies. I know that Cure will probably be fine. I know that Chosen will probably be well suited down there. Even Dab has a little bit of strangeness that might save them. And V knows magic better than most of us. I plan on having some downtime before we go, just in case. I hope you don't mind if I bug you a lot during those days.
I would be annoyed if you did not.
Excellent, we're in agreement.
Besides, I think you still owe me dinner.
Well, I'm fairly good at cutting things. Not so much good at cooking, but cutting.
I think we can arrange something.
It'll be a date.
He nods to you. Good. Been looking forward to it.
As have I. Oh, by the by, what do you know about ink?
Like normal ink? Pigmented alcohol?
No, never normal. It's never normal when I come over. It's always weird things, eclectic things, esoteric things.
Good, I was about to be very offended that you asked me about normal ink. There's all sorts of interesting types of ink.
Well,
There's detection, elemental, glamour ink, glow ink, metallic, mood ink, which seems like a terrible idea.
that is like half of my list. That is more than half of my list, actually.
Prismatic ink and shifting ink.
Let's go back to the last one, prismatic, what, like rainbows?
Yes, more opalescent, but yes.
On skin, like fish scale.
Yes, they become iridescent when you tattoo with them.
He nods and thinks it over. Does not reach for his things because there is hallucinogenic goo on his hands. No contact to mucous membranes or gear. My companion is looking for the glow in the dark. I think it's detection ink by the sounds of it. The mood ink they were interested in, and some kind of elemental ink. Do you know who in the world could be responsible for making or purveying that kind of stuff? Or if it can be brewed?
I can certainly make such a thing.
You could. What would you need?
The detection ink requires rare ingredients, depending on what sort of thing you want to detect. The rest are fairly straightforward, but expensive.
Well, perhaps it could become a long-term project.
Must have some sort of gem component.
Gems. He nods, thinking it over. Well, I'll let them know that we may have to do some favors, and it may not be something we can do right away.
Some of them are easier than others. The elemental ink I could probably do depending on the element, as well as the prismatic. And the metallic would be easy enough.
Well, in that case, I'll let them know that you know. And perhaps we can arrange some kind of favor. They can do something for you, and when you have time, you can look into what could be made.
Certainly.
I'll have to get actual answers from them, of course, not just the vague idea of glow around creature ink, I believe they call it.
That's the detection ink.
Yeah, specific creature, specific questions, specific materials. Oh, this is going to take more than an afternoon, I do believe. I might want to find them a pig skin as well. Something to practice on before they take the needle to someone's actual skin.
That might not be a terrible idea.
I don't think so. Mechlin will mostly just lapse into silence, plotting and scheming, and trying to remember if there's a butcher in town, or more specifically, where the butcher is in town.
Oh yeah, probably over near the Slayer's Cake.
Checks out. Yeah, he's gonna make himself available at least until, what was it, 3?
Mhm.
Probably make himself available until maybe 2.
Okay. Yeah, you guys can work the afternoon, most of the day away.
Yeah, works for me.
So make lunch. All right. And on that note, we're gonna call it for tonight. Pick up with the rest of everyone else's adventures.
Yeah, I was
and
gonna say,
hang out.
you can take mine off in Google Doc if you want.
Okay. Or we could do Google Docs, depending on what people feel like.
Delightful. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you very much for game.
It's the beginning
Sorry
of
for
the
all
end.
coughing and fuzziness, guys.
Sorry,
stupid
you're
cold is
still
kicking
feeling
my
cruddy.
Yeah.
That's rough. It's no fun.
It's really no fair that I did the grown-up thing and got my vaccine, and then the problem is that Liam, I don't know, licked another kid at school, and now I've got the stupid cold.
You kid boogers.
Kids are
Turned into adult boogers.
yeah.
Boogers for
Yeah,
everyone.
I got my vaccine on Saturday, and God, the next day, like, my muscles just were like, oh, you suck.
Oh.
It was like that. I think it was yesterday I started feeling better. I was like, oh, this isn't horrible. And then right before that, I had a cold. That
Oh.
sucked. It's like, man, and now I'm going to go right into a vaccine. This is fucking awesome.
Oh no. The second dave's the worst.
I was kind of surprised. My parents got their second dose yesterday afternoon, but today they were pretty good.
It seems like older people in general have fewer side effects than younger people. I don't know
It's
if.
how aggressive your immune system reacts
Yeah.
to it.
Interesting.
So it's like swine flu. The people who got it really, really, really bad for the people who were actually fairly healthy. When I got swine flu, because I just can't win.
So, thank you all. I appreciate you watching. I'm going to bed. I'm tired. I hope to see you all in the next video. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, comment down in the comments below. If you like my content, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Really helps me. But with that being said, I love you all, and I hope to see you all in the next video.